And why is it that no matter how many new business opportunities we get or new skills we try to learn, many of us just are simply finding different ways of earning the same amount of money or achieving the same kind of level of success?
Many people wonder why they hesitate when opportunities appear, or why they hold back even when they dream of more. We live in a world filled with resources and possibilities, yet countless individuals remain stuck below their potential. This struggle is common for all of us. Now see how Peter describes these invisible barriers that hold people back.
Same amount of money or achieving the same kind of level of success, as if there was kind of a glass ceiling above our head that we were trying to break through but didn't know how. Now, one thing we do know is it's not down to lack of resources or opportunity. We live in a time in history where there are more resources and opportunity than ever before. In fact, there's many people that have access to resources and opportunity that really never get the bat off the shoulder and take a swing at life.
His point reminds us that people with fewer resources often create more with less. The real limits are internal, not external. This reveals a powerful truth. Our limits rarely come from the outside world. They come from the inner stories we carry, often stories we never chose. As children, we absorb everything without filters. To understand how these stories begin, listen to how Peter explains it through the experience of little Johnny.
And Daddy comes out of his mind fog and says, no, you can't have a toy. For a start, he doesn't think he can afford it, but now's just not the time. But as parents will understand, children are prime examples of the ability to be persistent, are they not? And so little Johnny says, Daddy, Daddy, I want a toy. Please, can I have a toy? See, little Johnny doesn't live in a world of credit card debt. And in his frustration on dealing with his stuff and trying to handle the kids and all the other stuff, Daddy snaps out and says, listen, you can't have a toy, you don't deserve it, you're not good enough, you're not behaved enough today. And Daddy thinks that'll just keep him quiet while he goes back to dealing with his big world problems. But what's happening right now is quite significant. You see, little Johnny doesn't hear Dad's frustration. All Johnny hears is that I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, and I'm undeserving. And probably spends a large part of the rest of his life unconsciously acting out that behavior to justify why he's right, including self-sabotaging if the threat of success comes along to challenge that inner model of the world.
This shows how a single moment in childhood can plant a belief that follows us for years. These early impressions quietly shape the choices we make as adults. We try to move forward, but something inside pulls us back. Our conscious mind wants to grow, yet our unconscious patterns guide us toward what feels familiar, even when it no longer serves us. Imagine the conscious part of you as a determined ant, focused and ready to move in the direction of your goals. Beneath it is a powerful elephant that carries old fears, habits, and beliefs. Without alignment, the elephant will always take control. Peter expands on this by showing how our environment quietly shapes us. Watch how he describes this influence.
For example, let's say that you're a music fan, but you don't like jazz. That's for the other people. You're kind of a country and western kind of guy or girl. And you listen to country and western in the car going to work, but your car's broken down this week, so your good neighbor around the corner that works at the same place has offered to give you a lift. So you're going to share the 45-minute drive to work and back for the next 5 days. But they listen to jazz. Now, I don't care what you think consciously. Within 3 days, I know what's going to happen. Within 3 days in the car, you're tapping your feet to the beat. Within 5 days, you're humming it in the shower. You see, we don't get to choose whether or not we get programmed. We're programmable by design. We can only choose how we want to be programmed. Another way of saying that is you can have all of the intention to be as warm and hot as you like. You can raise your body temperature. You can put on some big clothes. But if you choose to live in a freezer, the environment's going to win over time.
It becomes clear that even strong intentions fade when surrounded by constant negativity. But the encouraging truth is that self-doubt is not permanent. The mind can be rewired. Change begins with choosing what we allow into our awareness. The good news is that our inner compass can shift. To see how this works, listen to how Peter explains the effect of positive input.
Needle and start remagnetizing it in a positive direction by exposing yourself to the kind of information that supports your potential and your greatness and where you want to go. Yeah, there's no excuse for not being able to do that now in a society where it's so available. But if you're not choosing to do that, by default, you're going to be hooked into somebody else's agenda. If you don't start filming as the star of the movie in your life, by default, you're going to end up as a film extra in somebody else's. And then the third point, get the things that shouldn't be in there out. What do I mean by that? Work with a decent mentor or a coach that understands how to navigate the minefield of human behavior. Somebody that isn't just going to teach you skills, but somebody that can reach in and find those unconscious patterns and be able to rip them out for good. I'll give you an example. I had a client come to me a while back who said, I want to learn time management. Now, a normal coach or what have you would probably teach them some good time management skills. But within 2 minutes, it was easy to see that time management wasn't the issue. The real issue was his inability to deal with rejection. And therefore, he wasn't saying no to people, because by saying no, it would trigger a rejection response. And therefore, he was saying yes to too many things, and therefore there was too much on his calendar, and therefore he thought he needed time management.
With repeated exposure to uplifting influences, the unconscious begins to align with our conscious desires. As old patterns fade, a new identity begins to form. We start to act from clarity instead of fear. Self-mastery is the real path. It gives us the ability to remain centered when life becomes chaotic, and to choose our responses rather than react from old conditioning. When our thoughts, habits, environment, and identity all point in the same direction, self-doubt loses its power. We begin to rise with confidence and purpose. In this state, we become an example for others, not by demanding change, but by inspiring it through the way we live. This is how we grow. This is how we make a difference, and this is how we become the change we wish to see in the world. If this video has helped you, please like it, comment on it, and remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel to get more contents like this one.